about them, but I can't get away from them. They're everywhere, in my face.
Look, Kyle, we just kind of don't care about some dumb prince and his stupid...
Trying to make ourselves into a brand just turned us into products. We don't need to be a brand, do we?
It's so funny, too, that you keep calling me Megan. You know, it's Megan now.
Oh, God damn it, now the prince is playing polo on the lawn.
We are here because privacy is a basic human right. How many more princes and his wives have to live in this nightmare?
This woman looks to me like a malignant narcissist. This woman has zero self-awareness.
I love that your eyes are sparkling right now. You know, Megan, how are you today? Which, by the way, I just have to say, yes.
Enjoy them.
I forgot to have fun. You're right. You're right.
That 2-hour podcast that I just had to sit through with Jamie Keen Lima, who is also very cut off from the rest of the world.
Down with the motorhead. We deserve our prize.
Okay.
Trying to make ourselves into a brand just turned us into products. We don't need to be a brand, do we? If it's truly what we want, then we really can get away from it all. No more magazines and Netflix shows. We really can live a normal life. Yes, I'm sure you agree, darling. We can be the people we talked about being, with no more worries about how we look or the image we project to people. What matters is what we have on the inside.
The Sussexes have copped it from comedian Colin Just on Saturday Night Live. He's joked that one of the conditions of Trump's new trade deal with the UK is that Harry and Meghan have to go back. It's pretty cruel, Kinsey.
Look, there's no way President Trump would have...
Wow, I know. Yeah. You just have to prove, like you have the proof that you're proving that you can prove the proof. It's divine intervention that God brought you to this podcast today. Want some pretzels? I put them in a bag myself. These pretzels are divinely ordered. The pretzels themselves.
Of course, our fuckacia bread isn't complete without our flour sprinkles. Flour sprinkles! You know you've made it when you've acquired a huge fan base of bullies. Hashtag Sussex Squad.
Could it be? A mystery for the ages.
Welcome to my garden. Well, it's not my garden, it's a set actually, but welcome to my set.
The world... You know that feeling when the whole world is waiting for a comeback, and instead, what drops is a cartoon dragging someone harder than reality ever could. That's literally what happened here. Meghan Markle probably thought she was stepping into Paris Fashion Week to reclaim the spotlight, but oh my God. If only she knew the universe had totally different plans for her. The second she showed up, it wasn't just some glamorous runway moment. No, this was a setup waiting to explode. Cameras lined up, influencers positioned like little satellites ready to orbit her. Paris buzzing, and Meghan swanning in like she owned the decade. Honestly, she strutted in like Queen Cersei returning to King's Landing after blowing up the Sept. But then, silence. That cold, expensive, elite-level silence you only get when people are pretending you're invisible. And honey, that silence became the joke heard around the world once South Park turned it into their next masterpiece.
Hey?
Did you know it's cold in there?
Yeah.
Must be an American thing.
It's not.
But wait, watch this. Amazing, right? This might be the smallest palace I've ever been in.
An apartment, so.
Yes, an apartment palace.
Because let me tell you, when South Park touched this situation, they didn't just poke fun, they roasted it on a spit with seasoning. Their parody Respect Our Runway didn't need to invent anything. They just exaggerated what Meghan was already doing. The glamour, the empowerment talk, the victimhood undertone she sprinkles like confetti, and fed it all back to the audience with that razor-sharp South Park flair.
She's swanning around like she's Queen Cersei in Game of Thrones.
And honestly, as brutal as it was, the worst part is that every joke had a grain of truth. That's why people couldn't look away.
This a wrinkle I see in my blouse? Who the fuck ironed this? I told you to iron this shirt 10 times. It looks like you only ironed it now.
It was like watching someone who's been performing for so long suddenly get exposed under fluorescent lighting. Because Paris Fashion Week wasn't about fashion for her. It was about exposure. And South Park didn't just mock her outfit, they mocked the mask she keeps putting on.
Brian, all right, and I do see you're in our database, but you didn't first get help at this Cumhammer location?
No, my wife went to one in California as a child.
Ah, okay, then you must be in the national system. Oh yeah, is this you? Sorority girl, actress, influencer, victim.
Yeah, that's totally me.
Okay, I see. And then you added your husband to your friends and family account. You must be the Royal Prince Millionaire World Traveler victim.
She wanted this to be her big re-entry. Netflix gone, Spotify gone, Hollywood's attention fading, but she still had her favorite weapon, image. Every step, every carefully rehearsed smile, every choreographed hair flip, all done to look effortless, but dripping with effort. But when the applause didn't come, you could feel her panic slipping through that perfect smile. And the internet? Oh, the internet can smell awkwardness from 1,000 miles away. Within hours, memes exploded. People asking, is she okay? Which is honestly the new global insult. And then that painfully staged fried chicken moment, oh my god. Watching her beg the camera crew to act like you're having fun was like watching a high school director plead with uninterested actors. The internet went wild. The comparisons began. South Park fans basically said, yeah, this is giving parody energy. And then boom. The creators made sure the world got exactly that. South Park didn't attack her for fame, they attacked the fakery. The overly curated relatability. The kind of authenticity that's one camera angle away from collapsing. And when the episode dropped, oh, it dropped like a hammer. People started saying the quiet part out loud. Her podcast fell off. Her lifestyle brand flopped. Hollywood wasn't buying the narrative anymore. The episode became a mirror, and the reflection was not flattering. Her contradictions? They laid them out like receipts. The privacy obsession paired with endless interviews. The empowerment speeches while controlling every headline. The relatable woman act. From a multi-million-dollar mansion with ocean views. South Park didn't invent inconsistencies. They just highlighted what everyone already sensed. And the worst part? They didn't portray her as a villain. They portrayed her as someone trying so hard that the trying became embarrassing. And the thing is, South Park didn't even need to exaggerate. Meghan's whole public persona already feels like it's stretched thin, like a balloon that keeps getting patched but still leaks air every time she appears in public. So when the episode aired, people weren't shocked. They were like, finally, someone said it. Because the truth, Meghan's image was always built on narratives, not actual accomplishments. She branded herself as the misunderstood Duchess, the brave outsider, the survivor battling the crown. It worked for a while, but only when people still cared enough to believe it. And that's what this South Park episode destroyed. Not Meghan herself, but the illusion around her. Every frame of the parody felt like a slap of reality. The scenes of "We want privacy" shouted from rooftops. The constant reinvention of her identity. Actress, activist, author, victim, lifestyle guru, political teaser. It's not one woman being herself. It's a woman trying on personas like outfits at a sample sale. Her entire brand felt like an algorithm, changing depending on trends, angles, audiences, and attention spans. And South Park? Oh, they saw straight through it. They mocked the shifting accents. They mocked the emotional speeches. They mocked the way she tries to make every moment camera ready. Every moment. And the worst part, they mock the dependence on attention, the addiction to being watched. And let's be real, attention is Meghan's oxygen. She wants privacy, sure, but only if it comes with the spotlight off other people and directly onto her. In the episode, when the characters shout about wanting to be left alone, yet show up everywhere with a camera crew, audiences laughed because they've seen that exact contradiction play out in real life. South Park didn't write fiction. They copied reality. The fakery was so obvious that Hollywood insiders finally stopped whispering and began talking openly. Producers started asking whether the risk was worth the noise. Studios quietly moved on. Executives rolled their eyes at the drama. Because satire, when accurate, hits like a truth bomb. Before the episode, Meghan still had allies in Hollywood. Cautious ones, but allies. After the episode, that caution turned into distance. Even the journalists who used to protect her image suddenly found vocabulary they avoided for years. Out of touch, overexposed, unrelatable, performative. Those words hurt more than jokes. Then came Paris Fashion Week, her supposed rebirth moment, her big "I'm still important" gesture. But the photos told a different story. The front row seat didn't give her the validation she wanted. The reactions were cold. The crowd didn't respond. The influencers didn't hype her. And the moment she laughed when a model tripped, oh my god, that 1 second of unfiltered reaction said more than any PR team could fix. Even she realized it. She tried to cover it up with a soft smile, but it was too late. People caught it. People shared it. People judged it. South Park turned that exact kind of awkward energy into its strongest weapon. Because silence is worse than booze. Silence means people don't care anymore. And that's exactly what Meghan fears most. Irrelevance. Every complaint her team made, the rumors of legal action, the statements about cruelty, the whispers about misogyny, all of it backfired. You can't sue satire. You can't fight humor with outrage. You can't control a narrative once it becomes a meme. South Park didn't go after her career, they went after her credibility. And credibility is the one thing she's been losing for years. Hollywood saw it, the public saw it, even former supporters saw it. The contradictions caught up with her. You can't say you want privacy while signing multi-million-dollar deals to talk about your private life. You can't claim you're relatable when you live behind mansion gates. You can't say you're silenced while giving interviews to anyone who points a microphone your way. And the moment South Park stitched all those contradictions together, the illusion broke. It wasn't just funny. It was devastating, because satire works best when people already suspect the truth, and people already suspected everything South Park said. It wasn't cruelty, it was confirmation. Her every reinvention, from lifestyle coach to Hollywood returnee to political influencer, started looking desperate. The Balenciaga front row stunt looked forced. Her poses looked exaggerated. Her facial expressions looked practiced. The whole soft glam humanitarian vibe clashed with the tone-deaf surroundings. And South Park caught that symbolism perfectly. The woman trying to escape negative press walked straight into a fashion house recovering from scandal. Two PR machines trying to reinvent themselves, both failing in real time. When South Park blended those contradictions into humor, the world finally laughed with recognition. Not bullying, recognition. And the real irony? Meghan wants to control her brand so badly that she accidentally made it easier to mock. Every time she tries to explain or justify, she reveals even more inconsistencies. Every performance exposes another layer. And when satire becomes the dominant voice in shaping how people see you, you lose control of your image forever. That's exactly what happened here. Instead of a glamorous comeback, Meghan walked into a cultural unmasking. South Park didn't exaggerate her flaws. They simply stopped pretending not to see them. It wasn't about tearing her down, it was about showing who she has become. A character, a brand, a performance, a storyline, not a person. And now we reach the part Meghan Markle never wanted the world to see, the fallout. Because after South Park's episode aired, something shifted, not just in Hollywood, but in the public's entire perception of her. It was like the collective patience finally snapped. People weren't whispering anymore. They were openly laughing, openly questioning, openly done. The episode spread like wildfire. TikTok edits, memes, stitched reactions, commentators breaking down every scene, pointing out how painfully accurate the jokes were. For years, Meghan had enjoyed this protective bubble, a shield of don't criticize her or you're hateful. But South Park? Full. They popped that bubble with one needle-thin punchline, and suddenly everyone felt free to say what they'd been holding back. Even late-night shows started taking shots. Journalists who used to defend her stopped pretending. Hollywood insiders whispered things like, "We don't know what version of her we're getting anymore." Studios? They pulled back. Brands? They hesitated. And Meghan? She tried to look unbothered, but oh, you could feel the panic seeping through the cracks. Every attempt her team made to control the narrative just added fuel to the fire. The moment her PR even hinted at suing South Park, the internet lost its mind. Because threatening legal action over a cartoon, that's like begging to be memed harder. And she was. The more she reacted, the more the world laughed. South Park exposed the one thing she didn't want anyone to see, that behind the glamorous gowns, the soft focus photo shoots, the carefully curated speeches, and the endless rebranding, there was exhaustion, desperation, a woman trying to stay relevant in a world that had already moved on. And the saddest part? You could see the shift even in the Paris Fashion Week footage. The lack of applause, the awkward smiles, the empty reactions, the way influencers didn't rush to her, the way the audience didn't buzz or whisper excitedly. It was like the room itself had decided, we're not buying this anymore. Once upon a time, Meghan entered spaces like she was bringing an aura with her. Now she walked into Paris like a performer arriving after the show had already ended. And that's why the South Park episode hit so hard. Because it wasn't mocking who she used to be. It was mocking who she has become. A brand, a storyline, a public performance trying to convince people it's natural. She wanted Paris Fashion Week to announce her return to relevance, but instead, it highlighted just how fragile that relevance had become. When the model tripped and Meghan laughed too loudly, then covered it awkwardly, that clip spread because it revealed a version of her that wasn't polished, wasn't curated, and wasn't likable. The internet doesn't forget moments like that. South Park stitched all these cracks together and created a version of Meghan that people instantly recognized. Not because it was exaggerated, but because it was honest in a way her own image hasn't been for years. And the final blow? The episode made people realize something she's been trying to hide. The public isn't obsessed with her anymore. They're entertained by her. She went from headline royalty to meme culture, from global humanitarian to South Park character. And she hasn't found a way back from that. Because once you become a punchline, you don't get to control the joke. South Park didn't destroy Meghan Markle. They revealed she'd already lost the things she relied on the most, the audience's belief. She built an empire on perception. And when the perception cracked, the whole structure trembled. Now every time she reappears, people don't ask, what will she do next? They ask, what will she pretend to be next? And that is the irony of her entire journey. Not that she was mocked, but that the mockery felt more real than the image she spent years trying to sell.